Thanksgiving week in Wolfeboro, and thanks for joining us on the Wolfeboro Exchange today. Today we're going to be covering the November 18th zoning board meeting, and I'm just going to set the stage for you. We had one case before the board that went an hour and 44 minutes. It was for a variance. The location of the property is up at Penn Air, which is a fly-in, fly-out community in North Wolfeboro, and the gentleman who came in, there's an existing barn slash hangar, if you want to call it, existing concrete pad and foundation. Part of the building was already there. Gentleman came in for a variance to roof in the rest of the structure. The variance was needed because the side setback line is 25 feet in Wolfeboro, and the structure currently went to 12 feet. So when the customer was going to apply for the permit, it got kicked back and needed to go to zoning board for a variance because it was in the 25-foot setback, actually up to 12 feet. This is a great case, great example of a lot of different internal dynamics in the zoning board. You'll hear time and time again the zoning board blames the fact that we currently don't have a planner. A full-time planner. We have a part-time planner from the New Hampshire Municipal Association that comes in twice a week for 4 hours. And you'll see the angst of the applicant in going through this process. They had been to 3 meetings up until this point. They were delayed back in October, asked to come up with responses to 8 questions the board had asked them. And so they're coming back at this November 18th meeting. Again, this is for a variance for a barn at an existing location, at an existing property that is grandfathered. So we're going to jump right into it with the first clip to kind of give you some background. But this will start you off and give you a little bit of insight into the actual case itself.
All right, well, we're fishing through our paperwork. I think you've answered pretty much what we've asked for. I'd ask, is there anyone in the public that wants to speak to this? No? Okay. I've had difficulty, I don't know about the other board members, but following along with sharing some paperwork. We've gotten some in duplicate and some we're sharing. And so it's like going back and forth. And I'm trying to read like the note on, what was the note I saw here? I was trying to read this note on this plan that the natural resource plan. Is the board comfortable trying to make a decision tonight, or would I have a question that I'd like to go to the legal counsel with. This business about a barn versus a hangar.
So you'll see early on here that this is 30 minutes into the application, into the case, and at this point the applicant had already gone through and provided the information, answered the 8 points that they had been given in the previous meeting to answer. And they had gone through each individual point with the board, provided documentation at the meeting. And there was one piece that was missing, which was a tax map, which honestly, it can be printed offline. It's not something that the applicant really needed to bring to the hearing that night. But so the applicant brought and delivered this information at the meeting, and you'll see later on that in these clips here that it kind of stewed some on the board that they weren't given the information in their packet. Well, you'll see that they blame the town planner for that, but the applicant was asked to bring in and provide information for the 8 points, which they did at the meeting here. You'll see Chairwoman Suzanne Ryan talk about the fact that she's not really ready to go forward with the case. However, this will be the 3rd time they've come before this board, so 4th time actually before they've come before this board. on this particular case. So they were asked to give information, they come back, they give it. So you can see the level of frustration already building from this first clip. So let's go into the second clip.
So you want copies of everything that I gave you tonight? I mean, I didn't think you needed
No,
the
we'd have
The planning
the
office.
planning secretary reproduce what we have one of, should make 6 more of, so that we all have a full packet that we can look at in total.
Okay.
Because we don't have a full packet.
This drawing,
We're sharing.
the deed information,
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
So that, and we'd have time to look at it.
Okay.
You know, we're just kind of piecemealing it together. Jody?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, is we usually, at least get 4 days, 5 days to be able to look everything over. That's what and now we're getting all this stuff tonight. It's like, to look at it tonight and really, I mean, personally, to me, I understand exactly what's going on with this project. It's just and I don't have a problem with calling it a barn, but I just want to be able that if I put my name on it as a chair, a person of the board, and we all agree on it, we have to record. It's got to be recorded, so I don't feel like we have exactly, we're pretty close. I think we're really close. It's just, I think to legally record it after, that's what I'm worried about. That's
So
all.
am I going to entertain a motion from you to continue this till December 2nd?
I hate to say that, but I think it might make the most sense. I don't know how everybody else
I'll make the
feels.
motion to continue this application for Mr. Shaughnessy until December 2nd.
I'll second that for discussion. I want to point out that it's unfortunate that right now we don't have a planner, and sometimes these kind of things can be worked out ahead.
What's really troubling about this, and this is what used to irk me when I sat on the same board, is the applicant is left hanging out there. Okay, they're not given good guidance from the beginning. There's no town planner right now. Okay, so that's not the problem of the applicant. That's the problem of the town. Okay, so the town's not giving good guidance to the applicant. The applicant has to come before the board 3 times. Now, potentially, as it looks right now, and I was sitting watching this meeting, and I was like, okay, this is going to be pushed along till December for the applicant. It's really poor guidance, and it's a lack of effort on the town's when it comes to the town of Wolfeboro being able to guide people and help people navigate the process. It's not so matter of steering people through the process, but at least helping them navigating it. If you walk in to the town of Wolfeboro Planning Development Office and you meet with, the planner, and the planner, sets you down and hands you the zoning and code book, for 2024 and says, your answer is in there. That's not doing the applicant justice. That's not doing the town of Wolfeboro justice. That's not doing the voters justice. I mean, that is, the zoning regulations and planning regulations are complicated. For the average person looking to put an addition on their house, or looking to modify their land, or get a special exception if they need it, or if they have to go before the board for a variance, it's a process that, either you hire a lawyer and spend a lot of money, or you try to navigate this on your own. And it's a very complicated process a lot of the times. And when you don't have people in the town that are willing to help and guide, and, or at least advise and provide you with your options along the way, it makes the situation really frustrating for the applicants that are out there. So let's go to the next clip.
I agree with Sarah that if this had been all put together in a packet for each member as a packet like this with everything, handed to Shauna, our part-time planner, she would have looked at it and given some direction as to completeness and enough information to go ahead and make a decision.
Well, I've sat with Sarah, is she covering for Terry?
No, I'm Sarah.
Oh, all right. Was
Who's
the
our
woman
temporary
covering
clerk?
for Terry?
Shauna, she's in the back office. I think her last name is Summers.
No, Saunders.
Saunders.
And then there was a temporary secretary out there, Leanne.
Okay, so just so you understand, when I went in initially and put this before Jason, and then he kicked it back and said, this has to go to the planning board because you're adding and we're going for that setback. And then I did the work with Terry initially to put that packet together. She did not tell me how many members there were or how many copies I needed to make. She didn't make that an issue. So the first hearing that I was ready for, I only had one to present. So if there were copies that needed to be done, she would have either made them for all of you or asked me to make copies. That never happened. So by the time we got here tonight, I just knew from the last meeting, there was about 5 or 6 people. So the biggest plan was the engineer's plan, which I felt was the most significant, and the wetlands letter, which you all have a copy of. So the significant pertinent information to decide that this could go, I felt you all had. The deed, I didn't feel everyone needed a deed copy to say he had access to the runway. But if you're saying you all want a copy of the deed to see that notation, you've all seen it. I don't know what else there is to decide.
But the only
You have
thing,
all the information right there.
typically we get copies of every relevant document ahead of time so we can study it and become comfortable with it. That's the only issue. All your information is here, and I am comfortable making a decision tonight, but if the board wants to study this a little bit further, that's,
Well, I would just
So be
stress
it.
that this is our 4th hearing.
Right.
I've dotted the i's, crossed the t's, given you what you've asked for. Granted, I didn't make copies. Nobody ever said the next hearing bring a copy for each one of us. That was never mentioned until tonight. So it seems like that's the hang-up as far as getting a complete package. And what I'm saying, you've got all the information.
I'm no body language expert, but if you're looking at the chairwoman in this, in that previous clip there, my question would be, are you even paying attention to what's going on, one, or are you just waiting for the vote to, there's a motion on the floor to push this to the next meeting. When I read body language there, what I see, and just my point of view is, the applicant speaking, trying to explain how they came to this situation where they're at currently, where it's going up to be potentially pushed to December. It appears the chairwoman's not even really paying attention to what's being said. That's my opinion on it. I would have to defer to the chair there, but it's kind of disappointing. She's shuffling papers while the applicant's speaking, and we're still on the issue of this packet. If people were given good guidance, I'm pretty certain that the applicant, after 3 attempts, if it was told to bring a packet in, they would have had the packet in time. I think what you're looking at is poor guidance. Once again, it's a situation of poor guidance offered by the town to these applicants, and then they're left trying to figure out how to pull the pieces together to get through this process. Let's go to the next clip.
Yeah, Mr. Toomey, apologies, but we are short-staffed, and the person that should have given you direction would be the town planner. And we have her in the office 2 afternoons. I know it's kind of frustrating, but we're doing the best we can, and our next meeting, because of holidays and voting, is only 2 weeks away.
Okay.
You don't have to wait a whole month.
So it's not the town planner's fault. It's, this is an elected board. It's the board's responsibility to right the wrongs. It's not the town planner's responsibility to do all the work that the board can do. The board can make a decision. The board has the obligation to make a decision eventually, and to not delay. It's, I don't know, do we have one more clip, or is it the last one? We have one more clip, and I think this kind of just summarizes it, and then we'll go into the final.
So anyway, the motion was, I'd like to call the motion to continue to December 2nd, first on the agenda. Sarah seconded it. Roll call vote, Chuck?
No, I think we have enough information. I'm comfortable making a decision tonight, so my vote is no.
Okay. Ryan, yes.
Sarah, yes.
Kate?
Do we need to hear from anybody in the,
I already did that.
No, we're
Kate?
done.
I don't know.
You can abstain if you like.
No, you're not,
Well, if she can't make up her
I'm
mind.
I'm gonna vote no.
I'm gonna go no.
Don't look at her.
I'm gonna go no.
Okay. So, are you ready to make a motion? Are we gonna go through these 5 criteria tonight? You think you got enough information to go through the 5 criteria? Jody? And Kate?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yeah,
I almost fell off the couch when that happened. The wheels came off the Suzanne Ryan bus, and she never saw it coming. It was fantastic. And the best part about it is, and then she has the nerve to look to Jody and to Kate and to basically, it's like the principal like hitting you on the wrist, okay, and saying, bad, now you have to do all the work and prove the case. If you watch beyond this, okay, if you watch beyond, I didn't want to have Tim cut too many clips, but if you watch I'm spitting all over the place here because it's really funny if you watch beyond this, but literally as you move past this, okay, Chuck tries to put together a motion to approve this for the applicant, okay, and Suzanne is so upset over the fact that this is gonna go through, okay, that she can't delay this applicant anymore. She is so upset over it. There's 2 points to this, but she's so upset over the fact that she won't even help Chuck in navigating the wording for the motion. Okay, you can watch it yourself. And so there's 2 points to that. One is, after the vote went down, okay, however it went down, okay, the board has an obligation at that point, whether they voted for it or not, to facilitate the application at that point. It was voted for 3-2, okay? So whether you were yay or nay, okay, there's an applicant standing in front of you, okay? There's actually an applicant who is the builder and the landowner there, property owner, standing there in front of you. And now there's inter-squabbling between the members. And should you have voted for it, maybe you don't have all the information you needed. Now you got to do it all the work, okay? Mind-blowing. We got to watch it. If you want to know what's really going on in the zoning board and in that group of people, this is a great example. If you watch this November 18th meeting, at one point in this discussion, Suzanne lets out the fact that she basically says, now this is going through, I wasn't prepared to do this at all tonight. She was shuffling through papers. So she, as opposed to going there with a neutral approach to how you might determine based on the information you got, she went there and she lets the cat out of the bag at some point and says, I wasn't prepared tonight to even go through with this. I don't have that paperwork in front of me. I mean, shame on you. You came to a meeting with an applicant who is coming before your board for the 4th time. You're the chairwoman, and you didn't come prepared to potentially push this application through. You had already made up your mind previously to coming out to the meeting. It's an embarrassment. It really is an embarrassment to the zoning board. It's an embarrassment to the town of Wolfeboro. Applicants should not be treated like that. It's a testimony to all of town government when you have boards that act like this in a rogue way. I've been saying it for a long time. We elected members, elected people of Wolfeboro are here to serve the taxpayers. They're here to help the residents navigate through complicated processes to make their lives easier and make all of Wolfeboro a better place to live in. Watch the meeting. I think you'll come to the same conclusion I had. It was great having you today on the Wolfeboro Exchange. Let's just go through while we're looking at it because it's Turkey Week. I was downtown on Saturday and got to see the part of the the wrap-up of the Turkey Trot. Really cool. So Turkey Week, we have the big parade coming up. We have let's see here. We have holiday open house at the Loon Center that's Saturday, November 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's 83 Lees Mills Road up in Moultonboro. Christmas parade in Wolfeboro the 30th. That's Saturday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Location, Main Street, starts at Brewster Field, goes to Mill Street, turns back around, heads back down to the Christmas tree. Santa comes down, Mrs. Claus, and a little bit of music, and they light the Christmas tree. Then Santa from 4 to 5 with Mrs. Claus is visiting hours up at the hut, Santa's little hut, which is right at the park there. It's a very popular time. And Santa's in the hut other times. You can go to the Wolfeboro Chamber website to find out when Santa's in the hut. So that's some interesting information here on what's going on in Wolfeboro. Book signing with Helen Fernald. That's December 7th, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Country Bookseller. Christmas at the Castle. That's also the 27th, Castle in the Clouds, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's the annual Christmas at the Castle. The theme this year is Home for the Holidays, and attendees will enjoy tours of the festival decorated Lucknow Mansion, admission to the Artisan Fair, holiday crafts, photos with Santa. So Santa's not only going to be at the hut, but he'll also be up in the Castle of the Clouds. So Santa does a lot of work this time of the year, so it's he needs a lot of cookies put out there for him on Christmas Eve. So that's what we got going on in Wolfeboro. It's been a privilege to bring you this episode. As always, Wolfeboro Community TV, check it out and support Wolfeboro Community TV, because it's an important asset in Wolfeboro, and it helps provide you, whether you're here in Wolfeboro, whether you're a summer resident or you can't make it to meetings, it gives you an opportunity to find out what's going on in and around Wolfeboro. I'm Luke Freudenberg for the Wolfeboro Exchange, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.